Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video I will tell you about the DNA Koontz. But before starting this video I will request you to please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon. Dan Koontz in the born July 9 in 1945 is an American author. His novels are billed as a suspense of thrills but frequently incorporated elements of horror, fantasy, science fiction and mystery in the stairs. Many of his books have appeared on the New York Times bestseller list with 14 headcovers and 16 of the paperback of reaching and number of one position in the road under a number of pen names in the earlier in his career, including the Davison Action, Dana and Dare of the Dare Lives and Nichols in the Berrien Coffee. He has published over in 105 novels in number of novels and the collection the short stories and are sold over in 450 million copies of the work. In the Philorians of language in Rame Koontz, he has said to that in the regularly beaten of abuse by the Aquilina father, which is the influence his later ride with also did in the courage of his physically dominative mothers of the standing up in the her husband in his serious year at the Shipping State College, and he was one in the fiction competition sponsor in the Atlantic Monthly magazine. After graduation in 1967, he went to work as an English teacher and mission sibling in High School of Mecklenburg. Fancy in the 1960 Koontz work of the Appalachian Poverty Program in the federally funded initiative design of the Help Poor Children. In 1996 interview with in the magazine, he decided while the program sounded were noble and wonderful in the reality, it was in the jumping off ground to the violence children and most of the funding ended up in the disappearing somewhere. This experience greatly shaped in the political outlook in his book, and Dion Contes in championed the recall of the realize and most Shippian wrote his favorite novel Star Quest, which was published in 1968, went in won the right over in dozens science fiction novels, seeing the Calthian faith in the contract and choice in his family. Koontz in the converted in college because faith provided essential answer for life he admired, including in the saying of permitted a view of life and saw in the mystery of wonder in all things. He says he sees in the Calthian of English writer and Calthian converted in the Jovichetian. He did not encourage a joy about the gift of life and conscience says in the race of his struggle Phalian sought in but was never gets in the smack box. He is under the oven of name is the survival because sometimes publish up to 8 books of the year. He started in the being using pen names of the after survival editors convinced him that authors who switch back of the 14 between different genres in vocabulary and victim of the negative corrosive alliances establish fans and stimulars failing in pick up any news once known the use of Koontz during his career, including Dana and all over the Hanthy Mickey Tuckers of acknowledge in the tributed of Parker novel for the richest tier in the Westill. Many of Kundun enemy novels of now available under his real name. Many others remain surprised in the Koontz who bought in back of the rides and ensure in could not Republican he has on occasion in was the might have appeared Damien seed in the envisions, both heavily written before they were published in the Persian of Iceland and section bold realized. After writing full time of the more than 100 years, he is acknowledged breathing throughout novel of the Shakespeare and published in 1980. The two books of Before the Day, Midnight and The Falcon of also sold over 1 million copies but were written under of the pen names. His first bestseller of The Demon Seed and sales of which picked up after the release of the film at the same name in 1977 and sold never 2 million copies in 1 year. He first hardcover bestseller and which finally promised some financial stability and lifted him out of the medalist height and hid miss range of his book Strangers and since then in 12 had overs in the PK Writer and Koontz in the reached number of the New York Times bestseller list. Best-selling science fiction and writer Brian Herbert has stated, I have not throughout a phases where I read everything that Koontz in the wrote and in the process I learned a lot about the criticization and building suspense. In 1997, psychologists in Athletic and Remarsland published of the extensive biography of Koontz based in the interview with his family and him. This psychologically graphic often in the short and concept of the characters and plots of events in the own life. Okay guys, I hope you enjoy this video. Please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon and share with other friends. Take care. Allah Hafiz.